Here we will talk about principles of universal design. This is also a PowerPoint designed by Jim Miller, but it has lots of beautiful pictures, so I've used it and modified it for this class. What is universal design first? Universal design is the design of all products and environments to be usable by people of all ages and abilities to the greatest extent possible. Um, there are two principles, accessibility versus universality. Accessible design refers or is for people with disabilities. Universal design is for everyone, including people with disabilities. Therefore, we often talk about universal design, UD, not accessible design. There are 7 principles of universal design that were described as universal design evolved. The first principle is equitable use. Second, flexibility in use. Third, simple and intuitive use. 4, perceptible information. 5, tolerance for error. 6, low physical effort. And 7, size and space for approach and use. Principle 1, equitable use. The design is useful and marketable to people with diverse abilities. There is a picture illustrating that. There is a large sign in front of a coffee, and it says worms and coffee on it. Another picture portraying equitable use is some water word for kids and pretty much anyone, where there is a lot of children and adults playing with balls and water and different slides. Equitable in use means that pretty much everyone should be able to use it with any abilities, and there should be no barriers. Flexibility in use means that the design accommodates a wide range of individual preferences and abilities. There's a picture of a car that has front on both sides, so it can actually be driven front and backwards as well. The second principle, flexibility in use, is also illustrated on this picture, where there is a picture of a medicine in a bottle, and 2 different bottles actually, and the user can choose what kind of lid they want because of their physical abilities to open that kind of lid. So that refers to being flexible in use. Principle 3 is that the design should be simple and intuitive. The design is easy to understand regardless of the user's experience, knowledge, language skills, or concentration. There's a picture of a traffic light that has the red color, and there's a sign to it. This light never turns green, so it's simple and intuitive. I need to say that some of these images are quite sarcastic, if you haven't noticed yet. The third principle, simple and intuitive use, is also illustrated on this picture of a large box that has lots of different icons that specify the use or the handling of this box. All of it is quite intuitive and simple. However, there are so many of them that it may become quite confusing how it should be shipped and not dropped and handled, and so it all becomes quite overwhelming. So I would not say that this box is designed simply and intuitively. Information should be perceptible. The design communicates information effectively to the user, regardless of the environment or the user's abilities. The picture here illustrates or portrays how people should be walking their dogs. It has one part for the dog guardians that says pick up after your dogs, thank you, and the second part is for their dogs that says grr, bark, woof, good dog. Information should be perceptible. Again, there's a picture of a Tupperware that has information about what is the content of it and how we can warm up items in it or wash it. And this information is also included in Braille. You can have Braille or the medicine packages more and more. in the US, which is wonderful. So the information can be communicated to people who are blind and who cannot read. Principle 5 is tolerance for error. If we make an error by an accident, that we should have some way to fix it. So the design minimizes hazards and negative consequences of accidental actions. There's a picture of a car that just got on top of this big bar at a gas station. The principle 6 talks about low physical effort. Things should be easy to handle. The design can be used efficiently and comfortably and with a minimum fatigue. And I really like this part of universe design because it is really helpful to everyone else, not only to people with physical disabilities, uh, such as different handles, different cutting items, different serving ideas, different ways of eating or cooking food, and opening containers and opening doors and so on. Principle 7 is that size and space um, needs to be that appropriate size and space are provided for use regardless of user's body size and posture. Here's a car jammed between two trams. Um, so obviously the size of the car did not fit, and the space was not accessible to this car. Um, there is here's a picture of a counter, uh, and that's really low, so small children can see over the counter. And the person, it looks like it's a pharmacy, is leaning down to the child, so they are at their level. So here the size and space for approach and use is well maintained in this picture. Another image here is an image of another sauce in a bottle that is really easily opened and can fit into someone's hand. Um, what are our next steps when we are promoting universal design? Well, first we should get together and talk about it. We should make some uh, things to be able to examine how it may feel for others to live in our society that is inaccessible to people. Here is an example of what is called the Ford's third age suit. That was a suit developed to make us feel like older people feel. So you get a special goggles, you get special earplugs, you have elbow braces so you cannot use your arms that well, you get special gloves so you don't have really fine touch on your fingers anymore. You get wrist weights, knee braces, and ankle weights. And if you walk in this special suit, you really feel like you are older. So that way you get to experience how you may look like and feel like when you are old, and you realize what you will need when you are a senior and how environment will be inaccessible to you. We Our next steps should be also personifying users' needs. Always keeping an individual in mind. What works for one person may not work for another. So we need to look at that individual and what exactly they need. We need to connect with real people, and that is the most important thing. If we create something that is not going to work for real people, then there is no purpose of creating something like that. So thank you for your attention. I hope that these pictures were useful and that you get some nice ideas on universal design and its principles.